I didn't screw it up.
You didn't.
We are Kenless tonight, y'all. So we are.
So we may screw it up in a couple
We may
minutes.
screw it up. We got plenty of time. So just to give you the heads up.
Yeah, just roll with it. It's fine.
We've been left to our own devices fully, which is terrifying. So
wait, hang on. Let me get this straight. He gave us a show, and then he let us run.
Right. I'll see him in a little bit, so we'll see what his thoughts are. Anyway,
what his level of regret is.
And what?
Sounds good. Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Welcome to. Well, that was weird. How was everybody's last 2 weeks? Are we good?
I can't believe it's been 2 weeks already. That's so crazy.
I know. I'm telling you what.
It's gone by fast. It's good to be back.
It is good to be back.
We're going to do our best to get, comments and questions, but obviously since we're short a human today, if we miss some, we'll go back through after the show and answer them from there in case we miss anything. Because my brain, although I'm an excellent multitasker, this is a little different.
Yeah, well, and usually I'm the one that runs everything for History of a Haunting, but I've done that in months, so I'm like, I forget how to do everything. So yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll be totally fine. Do you want to tell everybody what we are covering today?
We are going to be covering meditation today. So, which it really does tie into everything that we talked about a couple weeks ago, with just kind of like learning, and kind of really paying attention to the feelings of your reactions. So throw it into the chat. Did you guys kind of spend some time over the last 2 weeks just kind of sort of focusing on where your reactions are starting from, either from here or from up here? Were you able to kind of differentiate what was the ego reaction and what was a soul reaction? Let us know.
Love it. Love it. And I love that we're talking about meditation early. We are going to do, Jason, to your point, a short little meditation kind of towards the end. But we're going to do it not a long one, just a couple minutes, because that's about as much as my own brain can handle.
Same.
Generally anyway. But we wanted to cover kind of our own experiences with meditation and what that kind of looks like for each of us, because we both have different practices and how we meditate, how we learned it, how we fell into it, what that shit show looked like for both of us as we kind of moved along. So who wants to be the first victim? Are you volunteering your tribute or am
I? Yeah, I certainly will. I actually started down this metaphysical road years ago when I was still living in Phoenix. And I had done a Reiki session with my friend Tara. Mm-hmm. And she was the one that kind of got me into it. And she was like, meditation is really good for you. My son's grandparents, his dad's parents, were really devoted to yoga, meditation. It was a big part of their lives.
Right.
And they were some of the most, I say were just because we don't see them every day. But some of the most intentional people I've ever met. And I think you think of people that meditate on a regular basis. Hey, you know what, Mary Beth, that works too.
That will
Absolutely.
work. We're going to hit that info as well.
Yeah. I think that you kind of, there's a stereotype of people that meditate on a regular basis or meditate at all as being these real Zen, hippy dippy. Yeah. Just sort of like everything is, unicorn farts, glitter, right? Meditation is a very difficult practice to learn and maintain. And so through my friend Tara, she kind of taught me some techniques as far as like learning how to like focus on my breathing and things like that, because I'm a very busy individual. I don't meditate every single day. I just don't. And you and I talked about this all the time. I don't meditate as often as I should. I certainly really only do it if I am grounding at a location that I'm investigating, or if I am I'm currently going through training to become certified to read the Akashic records. And that's a significantly deep level of meditation that you have to become a pro at. So I'm working on that. But as far as that, I work full time. I run a business. I have this show. I have History of a Haunting. I have a household. I have 3 dogs. I'm a very,
Right.
very individual. So I don't, it's very hard to shut my mind off. And Erin
Yep.
knows this as well as anybody. When we're on the phone, I am ping ponging off in like 900
Squirrel,
different shit
squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Yeah.
all the time. And
Same.
she's
This
the
is why.
same way. Exactly. So I don't actually know, Erin, how you and I have any kind of quality conversation. I know that we do, but
We get
maybe
there
we're just so
eventually.
used to it that we're just easy. We play a really good game of mind, like ping pong together. So
We do.
yeah.
We
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, I would love to be able to do that. And you do have to kind of clear your mind out of all of the noise, the thoughts, the I got to get these errands done. It
Right.
takes a lot. And it's still something that I work on every single time that I do it. So we'll certainly talk about some of the tips and tricks that I've learned, that Erin has learned.
Yeah.
But that's how I got into meditation. What about you?
For me, when I kind of started this path, I started working with my first mentor, who also was, funny enough, my therapist at the time. She just happened to have this other much more fascinating, fun end to it.
Right.
But I am the definition of monkey mind. I'm like you. I'm constantly, my brain is going. Like people who say, like my husband, he can just go to sleep when he's ready to go to sleep. My brain's like, no, let's rehash the last 47 things you said, how you said it wrong. Like it turns into this whole thing. So
Right.
to me, with meditation, it was very scary because you do always see this impression of meditation as, you know, you're just supposed to clear your mind instantly. And that, you know, it's this very Zen thing, but really it is an absolute struggle.
It is.
To learn to shut your mind down. So for me, I started doing it pretty early on, and I can only do like a minute at a time. And I thought, okay, I can't clear my mind. I can't, like, I'm just going to start in small increments. Like I'm just going to start really slow, and I'll kind of build up over time.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
And I started kind of making a game out of it. But again, I'm like you, I am not a really good meditator. I don't meditate regularly. I'm kind of like you. Like if there's something going on that I need to focus on, or if there's, I'm just, you know, feeling some kind of way about something. But as a, like, do I get up every day and meditate? No. The only thing I do every day is walk the dog and coffee. Yeah. That's it. But meditation for me typically pops in if I'm taking a bath or something like that. But it's been and still is one of the more difficult things for me to. Oh, the boss man has arrived.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
You said he wasn't going to be here tonight.
Hey, look. So the cat's out of the bag. They're all in Florida. So I'll be hanging out I'm going to go out and catch up with them. So I'll get any wrist slaps when I get over to them tonight.
Well, better you than me. I mean, I'm kidding.
That's my mama. But yeah, I think meditation is such a difficult thing. And I think a lot of times people really steer clear of it because they think that they have to go in with a clear head and that they're like, you can't get there without practice. Like you have to, you know, now if I need to, I can sit for an hour and do it. But it's taken me 4 or 5 years to be able to do that. Yeah. But I'm also like you, I have, you know, I work for a lot of people in this field. I, you know, have a dog. I have a busy life as well. Other things that I do, you know, help with other shows, content creation, that kind of thing.
Right. Phones going off all the time. Yeah.
Right. I just don't have, I'm just not going to dedicate the time. I know that about myself well enough to know that I need to make it something that works for me.
Yeah.
And gets the message across to myself that, okay, this is your time, right? He's got eyes on us.
Right.
Oh boy. Hopefully they've had a few beers and it won't matter in a little bit anyway.
Hey, listen.
But yeah, I think that for me is, and it still continues to be something I can struggle with, especially if I'm not in an active space where I'm doing it consistently. It's not like I have to start over, but I kind of have to remember how to go about it and how to get into that state. So like you said, we wanted to kind of cover things that have worked for us. Some, you know, things I do with clients to help them with meditation. And so I think we should be able to cover quite a bit of that. Do you want to
We
kind of start
should.
with where you're, what works for you, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I had started like meeting with Tara, she, first of all, like there are a number of health and wellness benefits to meditation. You have, you're able to kind of get to know your real self through meditation when you are able to get to that point where you have been able to clear your mind. And you guys, you can do it. It can be done. It just takes, like everything in this whole metaphysical ball of craziness, it takes work, but you can do it. So there's a number of mental benefits. It can relieve stress. It can kind of get you into a place, especially if you do it like my son's grandparents at the start of the day. It can really set a nice, even tone for you for the day by just kind of resetting yourself mentally and emotionally to go ahead and tackle whatever day you've got coming up. So there's a number of different health and wellness benefits to meditation. You don't have to be in, this metaphysical world. You don't have to be, into any of that stuff. If but yoga, meditation is a big thing. If you do yoga, which is also something I'd like to get into, but again, I like to say I don't have time. Well, right. And I'd like to say that I don't have time, but I do have time to watch TV. You know what I mean? I do have time to, go and just kind of screw off and scroll on TikTok for 30 minutes. I have that time. I could be using that to meditate. But basically what helped me and what Tara taught me is if you can just sit in relative silence. Now, granted, we have dogs, Aaron, they're going to bark. It's a thing. You've got to try to push that out. Thanks, guys.
Love you.
But focus on your breathing. And that's what I always do when I start to meditate is I focus on my breathing. And I know everybody says that, but what helps me is to actually feel the rise and fall of my chest as I'm taking the deep breath in through my nose and out through my mouth. And just that becomes kind of mesmerizing for me is just to feel the up and down of my chest. And before I know it, that's all I'm focusing on. And I actually have been able to push the noise and the static and the chaos to the, out of my mind so that I can focus on whatever intention I've set for my meditation.
Do you find when you do that, it's because I did the same, like focusing on the breathing, the, rise and fall of the chest, because you're like, when you first start doing this, your brain is desperate for something to think about. And if you, like you said, you're focusing on breathing, then you have something to focus on.
Right.
Like
it's got something. Yeah.
That seems to help kind of calm things down a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, it ends up when you find yourself in that space where you're just kind of, I also picture myself in like an empty white room. There's no furniture. There's a window. There's maybe some like, those real nice, what are those like organza curtains blowing in the open, you know what I mean? Like there's a beach out, just kind of picture myself in this like serene space where there's nothing on the walls. There's no color. There's nothing. And that to me is my mind. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. Now I can choose to fill my mind with whatever it is I need to focus on is the reason for the intention or for the meditation, the intention. Somebody also said a bath. Mary Beth said a bath time is my unwinding time. And also same thing for me. In the tub, in the shower, especially if I have like a crazy day or I woke up just stressed out immediately because that's how I roll. I will take some time to meditate in the shower, not like, 20 minutes or anything, but just kind of calm myself. And that I use that time to ask my guides to clear the clutter out of my mind so I can see the path forward for the day. And it works every time. It works every time. So, I'm super glad that we're doing this, like you said, Aaron. I'm glad that we're having this conversation and early on in the start of our episodes, because we're going to just be building on more difficult things as we go along, you guys. So so that's
well, I think
what works for me. How about you?
I think like you said, I mean, you talk about being in the shower or in the bathtub. I think also people assume if you're meditating, you have to be sitting in lotus and with your hands up. And like, I am of the opinion you can make anything meditation. Like I think the key to that is setting an intention, like doing all these things with intention. Like for me, a lot of it is like, I used to color a lot, like adult coloring, like an overgrown child.
Right.
But it allows me to focus on one thing and everything else just kind of disappears. So but I always set the intention. If I'm going to go for a walk in the morning, like what am I walking for? Like, what's my intention for the day? Or if I'm, cleaning the house or listening to music, I think the key to anything meditative is setting an intention, because then you get into the habit of setting a specific intention for whatever that meditation session looks like for you.
Right.
And that's already getting your brain into gear, right? Because my theory is what helped me, because I couldn't sit still. I'm like the squirrel queen. I cannot focus on anything. Any of my friends will tell you I'm all over the place, just like you are, which is why we get along so well. Yes. But I couldn't sit for more than 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So I had to start at 30 seconds, and then I would, work my way up to like a minute. And then after some time, I'd work up to 2 minutes, to 5 minutes, to like, I just kept, Satori.
Who the hell is that broad?
But I got to where I almost kind of made a game out of it, because I started thinking about, oh, here we go. This is going to be a fun night. Here we go.
Oh, goody.
Hold on. Hi, Sandy. This is why I love our show, because this can go crazy quick, and I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too. This isn't supposed to be some sort of structured, like, this isn't a master class on anything except
it's just it's a shit show, just like we promised.
Yeah.
But I also started noticing, for me, when I really started kind of getting into it, was that when I would close my eyes and tap in, I would start looking for things in my third eye, like colors or shapes or, so I kind of made it a game that way, because if I went into it, even if it was just for 2 to 3 minutes, setting my intention, I was focused on whatever my third eye wanted to show me. And when I first started, it was colors all the time, all the rushes of all the colors, different shapes, different sizes, different speeds. And I feel like, for me, making a game out of it, because I like a good challenge for myself, because then I was building up on the time I was sitting. So I went from like 30 seconds, and the next thing I know, it's like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think another thing for me,
Oh, go ahead. I have a question after you.
No, go ahead.
Well, so one of the things that I struggled with the most is setting intentions.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know how specific they needed to be, how broad they needed to be, how Yep, absolutely.
Drink all the water.
I didn't know, like, what, for the audience, define intention for any, like, for meditation or for manifestation or anything like that. Like, can you define that for us? Because I can't put that into words. So I'm going to throw that burden on you.
I mean, I think, because a lot of times I think, you have intentions, and then you have affirmations. And typically affirmations are, positive words, or as we're going to get into later, sweary affirmations, things that you typically will say, those over and over again, right? Like something like people put Post-it notes on their mirror, things like that.
Sure.
For me, an intention is, okay, I'm going on this walk today, and I am focusing on releasing any energy that I picked up from insert situation here the day before. It could be something like that.
Okay.
Or I'm setting the intention to allow myself to bring in more peace in my life. Or, it's more of like a long-term goal is not the right thing, but it's a little bit bigger picture. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'm probably, and if I'm wrong, I'll
but
get
also
later.
like maybe a section of the bigger picture that's a little more compact for like that day or that whatever.
For that particular session. Because a lot of it for me as an energy healer is releasing energy that I, like if I was at Target or at the grocery store. For me, every morning, my typical intention when I'm walking is every step I take is pulling out anything that's not good for me energetically and sending it back to the earth. Right? Like that's my intention when I walk.
Okay.
And I'm trying to find, I'd love to get like an actual definition, but it keeps giving me intentional because I feel like.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Mama. My mom's here.
Hi, Miss Nancy. Oh, hold on. I'm slacking on the looking up.
Yeah, well, our producer went on vacation.
God forbid. Can you believe that guy?
Ken.
Jeez, Ken.
Ken.
But by definition, it's a thing intended, an aim, or a plan. So I think saying it's bigger picture is probably. Here we go. Marie has a good way of looking at it. There you go. Love that.
With giving yourself permission to pursue a goal. I like that too.
Yep. And then Lori.
I like that too. Yeah. So it kind of goes in with my, asking my guides to like help clear the clutter.
Yeah.
That I'm tripping over in order that I could see the path forward.
Correct.
More clearly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah. I mean, I'm good at setting them now, but it's almost like in the beginning, I was like, I literally have no app. What my intention is to get something out of this. That's my intention.
And that's an intention.
But that's too vague. No?
Nah, I don't think so. I think it's the practice of setting something. Okay. And then I think the more you do it, the more specific, direct, or what you actually need will kind of start coming through naturally. But again, anything else like meditating or anything we do in this field, it's a muscle. Setting intentions is a musle. Using affirmations, also a muscle. Mm-hmm. This is a big one for me. I don't do silence well. Like I don't either. I typically have to have music when I'm meditating or doing, and I just like to have sound. So meditation music is something else that helped me a lot because there's all these different frequencies. And maybe this week I'll put together like a sheet that we can send, put up on our pages. All these different frequencies that have very specific functions. So you can go to YouTube and you can find these like 10, 12 hour long frequency.
You can, yeah.
That are intentional to whatever you're looking for, right? Mm-hmm. Of course, Bernie's now going to go grab the giant toy that makes
Bernie's intention is to get attention.
The tail. Okay, here's another good definition. And I think it's interesting too. Intention can mean different things to different people, but it's all the same general kind of idea, right?
Yeah.
Bernie, really?
I told Aaron we needed to add Bernie to our thumbnail.
We might have. Tom also says intention's everything.
Yeah.
Mary Beth says, I love silence. I rarely get any.
And I really think that like throughout our day-to-day lives, even if we're not meditating, even if we're not, trying to do anything within the metaphysical, like, grounding ourselves to a location or whatever, right. I think in our day-to-day lives, we all are setting intentions all day long.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's my intention to get through this rush hour traffic to get to the office.
Right.
I have XYZ things that I need to get done today that my intention is to get through. So I think we're like all setting intentions, but I think when you actually sit down and say,
start acknowledging it,
set down, you need to set some intentions. What are they going to be? People are like,
right.
No idea. You know what I mean? But I think like we're just constantly doing it, every single day. Like my mom and I'll get up in the morning, we'll go and we'll have our coffee and she'll be like, all right, well, I'm going to finish this coffee. And then I need to clean my craft room. Okay, great. I need to clean my office. She'll accomplish hers. You guys are not going to see the rest of this space until I haven't done it yet. It's been 6 months. But anyway, so I think that we already are setting intentions in our daily lives. We just don't necessarily think of it in that specific of a regard.
Well, and there's just like anything else in this field, I think, because I know this was a problem for me with any of it. I always thought there was a right way to do it.
Yeah.
And I really quickly figured out that there's not, I mean, obviously I think the main intention is you don't hurt anyone, but
yeah,
it's different for everyone, right?
it is.
And so
Yeah.
I think that's one of those, it's like you have to get more intentional about setting your intentions, right? But you have to
Super
practice
easy, guys.
it.
Just do
And
it.
there's no right or wrong way, really. It's just, and I mean, even
Mhm.
just, we do everything differently.
Yeah.
You and I, even. I mean, we don't meditate
Mhm.
the same way. We
Yeah.
don't do a lot of the things the same way, but they still
Yeah.
work for us. So it's a matter, I think, too, of also
Exactly.
trying different things out. Like if you can't sit still, go walk.
Yeah,
Put
you
some
can.
headphones on, take a walk, or clean your craft room, or in Bernie's case, scoot his butt across my rug. So gross. But that's life right now. But I think it's finding something that works for you, that allows you to make a routine out of it, make it an
Mhm.
important part of your day. And I did do it religiously for like 2 years, almost every day when I
Yeah.
first started diving into this. And I will absolutely do it when I need it. But I
Yeah.
have the foundation of it now and what I need to do. So it's pretty easy to get back into it.
Yeah, same for me, especially going through this Akashic Records training where it's a whole different level of meditation to even be able to access the records. So it can be done. Do you guys, do we have any questions from folks that they've got, they're asking in the chat that we can answer
No
so far?
questions yet, but
No questions
people
yet?
are giving really great stuff on what works for them, which I love.
Sandy needs to clean her craft room too. Cool.
Sandy says she needs to. Satori, why are you both so beautiful? Oh, good Lord.
So educational. Okay, beauty I agree with. Education I don't, but thank you, baby.
She's just, making us feel better. We can't hold a candle to that Thursday night show, but we do our best.
No, we really can't. It kind of sucks to have to follow that act, truly. And right. So truly the only things I'm trying to steal from anybody are Ken and George's guests. So don't worry about the viewers.
That's our big thing.
That's our big goal. That's our intention.
That's our intention.
We meditate that every week.
Feel a guest. But yeah, I think so much at meditation, people are really scared to do it because they think there's a right and a wrong way to do it.
Yeah, I think so too.
That there is only one way to do it, and that you basically, like anything else, have to be a professional before you walk in. And none of that shit's real. You just have to dive into it and give yourself a chance. That's what Satori was responding to. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask.
I know.
But just throw it out there and just start giving it a whirl, and see what works for you. And if sitting quietly doesn't work, take a walk, turn on some music. I mean,
whatever it is that you do to unwind and relax, start there.
Yep. And just make it more intentional.
Yeah.
That to me was, I think, a big part of the key to the puzzle, or piece of the puzzle, was knowing that like you said, we're already setting intentions kind of all day
long. Yeah.
You just become more aware of it. And more
it's not so specifically defined. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's very true. So I think that's what really, I think that was the big one for me, was talking about the music, building up time slowly. If you have a squirrel brain like me, and then just giving yourself some grace.
That is a big one. That's a big one, because I am always, and Laura will tell you this, you already know, Jennifer, my mom, everybody, if there is something I want to do and it doesn't come out exactly like I've got it in my mind, I'm trash, it's trash, and I don't deserve to be doing anything. If it's not perfect the way I have it in my mind, forget it. And it took a long time for me to learn to give myself grace with this kind of stuff.
You have to, otherwise you'll quit before you even get started.
Which
George says, do you think we as a culture can ever achieve the level of enlightenment Buddhists and other spiritual sects seemed to have tapped into for millennia?
No.
I agree.
I don't think so. And I'm not saying that as like it wouldn't be tremendous, but there are just too many folks that are we're too distracted, one. But I also think there are just too many folks that are just really not willing to step out of their own comfort zones. They're not, it's just not something that they have ever done, will ever do. And that's certainly a tremendous hindrance to
Yeah.
being having like a huge, collective culture shift into that.
Well, and I
That's
think too, there's, in that, in the Buddhist practice, I mean, these are people who typically have done this kind of practice. If that's your religion, that's what you've always done, and we don't live, unfortunately, here in a society where that's a focus. Everything is do it harder, do it faster, do it longer, do it quicker. Don't relax, work until you're dead. Like we live in a society that's entirely too fast to be able to even begin to inhibit that kind of practice. Like we do our best from the level that we can come from, but our society, if you could just disconnect from all the electronics and disconnect from the news, and then maybe we'd have a better chance. But yeah, I don't think we'll ever get there. I mean, not to say that
Marie's right.
I think
Marie's right. I mean, it takes, and that's kind of like another, yes, exactly. They don't have the time to sit and enjoy things. It's really telling when folks have parties where they actually, they have dinner parties, they have you come over for whatever, and everybody's getting together, maybe it's a Christmas party, and they actually have you check your cell phone at the door. That's really telling that they're like, hey, if you want to come in, you cannot have your phone with you.
Yeah,
like unless it's like in a massive emergency.
Present.
You have to be present.
That's a big part of it. I agree with that. But yeah, I think with the world that we live in, it's very, very hard to be able to establish that same kind of enlightenment. Although and for me, it's not even, I don't know. For me, I'm not trying to be more enlightened. I just want to be a better person. I want to be a calmer human. I want to be a more productive.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know, for me, I don't know that it's ever been enlightenment. For me, it's just, I wanted to be a better person. I wanted to learn more about myself. I wanted to explore different sides of myself that I didn't know existed till a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, and I think that for me as well is like that meditation and learning how to differentiate and really notice where my reactions were coming from.
Right.
Were they coming from ego or were they coming from soul? The meditation just kind of helped.
Yeah.
Kind of helped me be more in tune with, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, guys, our own energy. None of this is going to work for you if you cannot sit with yourself and your own energy first. You really, really need to, if you want to use that as an intention, like, hey, let me just meditate and just kind of feel what my energy looks like for me. Is it rigid? Can I move it? Is it fluid? Is it flexible? You really have to know your own energy to be able to, kind of baby step your way through. So again, start with that. Yep. Always. And I will probably repeat that a bazillion times over the course of this show.
Yeah, probably. We do
have.
Yeah. Yes. Crystals. Yep.
Sure do. It depends on the intention. It depends on the intention. Generally, I meditate for at least 5 or 10 minutes when I'm getting ready to go in and talk with my guides. And so with that, I will have my pieces of my labradorite, my selenite. I want to make sure that, because I don't ask to have negative energy and attached souls removed from me every night like I should. I usually let them stockpile up for a couple of weeks, and then I really need some help chipping them off and letting that stuff go. So I have selenite that I use. I've got my rose quartz. Smoky quartz is another one that I really love. I've got, Aaron gave me some Apache tears. I've got that as well. So I do use those. And I also burn dragon's blood and frankincense when I meditate as well. Yeah, that's what I use. What about you?
I use, when I first started, it was depending on the chakra I was focusing on. Because when I first started kind of getting into Reiki, I was trying to learn about each individual chakra. Because like I've stated before, all I knew about chakras is that the colors were pretty. That was it. But then once I started kind of understanding what each chakra represented as far as an emotion or whatever, I would try to work with the color of that chakra. Like I'd have, fistfuls of little tumbles in my hands of those colors. And now that I've done a lot more work with crystals down the line, I'm like you. A lot of times it's selenite, black tourmaline, labradorite, fluorite is my favorite.
Fluorite. I have a piece of fluorite here I love.
Yeah, but I'm like you. It depends on the intention that I'm setting it for, and what the purpose is the big one for me.
Yeah. Zach found a beautiful fluorite.
Nice.
There's a lot of crystals here in North Carolina and Zach is just constantly finding them in his yard.
Go to Maggie Valley. Go to Maggie Valley.
Yes.
All right. Why do we seem to feel more connected or in tune when in nature? Is there more to the natural energy around us than we pay attention to? Absolutely.
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%.
Somebody answered it too. That maybe it's because that's where we come from. We're all part of the earth. I'm an earth sign anyway, so I tend to be kind of a grounded energy. Yeah. And I do think there are moments if you're outside and you're really tapping into what's around you, you can feel those different elements working with you. And I feel like it's harder to pick up on if you're not trying to focus on it. Like it's something I had to make myself look for. Time, right.
I always enjoyed it. And I'm not really an outdoorsy girl. Like I don't camp. I don't like to camp. I don't like to do any of that. I think it would probably be the worst thing in the history of my existence if somebody was like, hey, let's go camping. No. Thank you. But no. But I do like to be outside. So I do like to work in my front yard, or I do like to do yard work and, when it's not like 100 million degrees, but I do enjoy being out there. I didn't, however, until Andrea did her mojo whammy on me. And that next day after she was like, drink water, do this, it'll be fine, calm down, like literally talked me off the ledge. The next morning I went out to ground myself, and I always do it in my backyard, barefoot. And I just close my eyes and I just listen to what's going on around me. And I could actually feel the energy from the trees that are around me, from the grass I was standing on, from the birds and the noise. It was the most insane thing. I was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
And ever since then, I just feel more connected to it because obviously, she had helped me along with that, and opening up my third eye was part of that, to be a little bit more connected to nature. I'm still gonna go camping though. That's not something I'm gonna be doing.
I love to be outside. Living by the beach obviously helps. Just that ionized air. But and George said, talking about the this. Eric can probably speak on this from her farm woods experience. I did have quite an experience, which I'll talk about. But Miss Lynn, really cool. Hi, Miss Lynn. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
But I did have an experience at the farm. It was last summer. So last summer I was there for 3 weeks. 6 of those nights were spent camping, your least favorite thing, which actually very quickly became my very favorite place to sleep on the property, was in those tents. Because at that point you're completely immersed in this, I was scared to death the first 3 nights. I'm going to be totally honest.
See, in the woods at the farmhouse, they don't scare me. So the idea, it's just like, ew, it's hot.
I love it. I think it's one of those things where for me, it was like, I live in a tourist town. So there's always cars and honking and people yelling and it's never quiet. And up there, you have the crickets and the birds and the non-living things walking around at night. And there's some sort of peace in that. But I remember after my last day of camping, I had gone down the bridge with the dog and I came back up the wagon trail. Now, you're not anywhere near the ocean, so you don't have a lot of wind breezes per se. Right. And I remember turning around and I just thanked all the spirits outside for keeping us safe, for allowing us to sleep well and to keep an eye on us. And just in the spot where I was standing within a 50-foot radius was just this wild ass wind. Trees blowing, things moving. And I looked at that.
Yes. Lynn.
As a
there we go.
As a gift. Yeah. And there are ticks. Yep. The spirits of the farm will tell you when there's ticks in your bed. It happened to me once. But for me, that was magic because it was the first time I'd been outside and felt like nature was talking back to me because I was
Yes.
acknowledging the gift it had given me. And so to take the time.
The weirdest thing, but
Right.
so fun.
But
It's
so fun.
fun.
Right. You just start,
Yeah.
you start to be more cognizant of all the energy around you, to George's point, whether it's person to person or, you're go hug a tree or go walk the beach. There's always something in nature that's there to remind you of how powerful it is and how
connected we all are.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah,
100%
absolutely.
agree.
Absolutely.
And
camp at my house and you can sleep among the bears, coyotes.
No, not those Fisher
You know
cats.
what, honey?
Nope.
That's fine.
Fisher
It's
cat?
okay.
I'll have a Fisher cat story. I'll get into that one night. I've never been more scared in my life having to hear that for the first time, not knowing what it was.
Ooh, nice.
And Lynn says she's also very drawn to the land. Yeah. Makes sense.
I do. I really do enjoy it. But it's not my cousins and I was born in a little town in northern Arizona, and my family lived there. I grew up there spending summers with my grandmother, and my cousins all live up there. And we would go into the woods, Payson, and we would wander around, and we started a club under a fallen tree, and that was our clubhouse. And absolutely no effing business in those woods.
But here we go.
We loved it, but also I wasn't sleeping in it. I'm a city girl. I love the city. I love the noises. It took a long time for me to be able to live where I live now, which is a very rural area outside of Raleigh. Yeah. And one night when we first moved here, I was outside on the patio and I was on the phone with Laura or somebody, and it was late, and I heard a cow mooing, and I was like,
I'm done. I quit.
Quiet is almost deafening. So I can't, that's something that I had a really hard time with. So love the city. Mary Beth, I'm not a city person.
I'm not.
Yeah. I have to have some noise to sleep to because I'm so used to the sound of traffic or sirens or, just a car alarms going off at any kind of hour of the day and night. So that's just something that, I prefer the steel and concrete to camping. Even I think when you were camping last year at the farmhouse and you were like, we had to sleep in a tent and then this and that. And I'm like, I would love to do that, but I would probably stay either in the house or in the trailer. I will wander around those woods in the dark. I know that none of you liked to do that. And me watching all the shows and I'm looking in the background at the dark and I'm like, I don't, I kind of feel drawn there. And not in a, we want to kill you way. Just kind of drawn there. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy to do that, but I will not be spending any kind of nap time or anything out in the nature. In the nature.
I was kind of hoping I could
the nature.
I wanted to spend some time in the tents in March, but the tents weren't up yet because of the winter. And I was like,
oh,
but I got to the point, one night it was, I don't know, fifth night, I think my second to last night. And when you're up there, there's so much energy. You're just exhausted. Yeah. Cody and Satori were the caretakers and we didn't have to be in the tents till 10 p.m. I mean, you're kind of around the area. We don't have to kind of be at your setup by 6:30. No, 7:30 after the tour was done. I was already in my tent. they walk in me. They're like, you can come up here. And I'm like, but it's so quiet down here. I really like it. And I did. I set up a little apartment in this giant tent for myself.
Yeah. Because a little music. Yeah, they were really huge, 10-person tent or something.
Yeah. And then I would just take it in, to roll the tents down to keep the ticks out, the screen, and it was raining. There's something so calming about that to me because I don't get that here. And I'm from Atlanta, so we didn't get that growing up.
Right. Either. Yeah.
But that's also something I started looking at as a meditation option for me. It was that if I had those few moments to kind of before guests came or before, people started freaking out about about what they're picking up, and oh my gosh, hey, you know what's going on. It was a chance for me to take in that incredible environment and all that land has to offer. And so that really kind of helped me be more connected to nature, because I hadn't camped in forever.
Yeah.
But to remember what it felt like to be that quiet was really, really nice. So that was a big one for me.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at the comments, and there's so many like, yeah, we always went camping. We never did. Me and my family, we never went camping. I had cousins.
You lived in the freaking desert. You would have died out there.
That true.
I have no
a lot of camping goes on in northern Arizona though. So like Five Flag stuff and Payson. But my cousins always did. But I was never one to want to do that.
We didn't really
at all. I've been camping once.
Yeah.
So I can say I did it, but I would never go again.
Check.
I've been fishing once.
My mom went camping once. Same thing. Yeah, she felt the same way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's what's so nice about all this stuff is whether you're inside, you're outside, you're learning to meditate, you're a master meditator, you can make it work for you. You just have to try it out.
Yeah.
You just have to give yourself the chance to feel stupid or
yeah. And that's where the giving yourself grace comes in, because really there's nobody that's gonna like, yeah, sure, you could go and you could take classes to learn how to meditate and, become somebody who teaches other people how to meditate. You could certainly do that, where then people are looking at you and they're like, hey, maybe if you try this, maybe if you try that. But most of us aren't going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Well, and it's also what works for you and what is most effective for you. So while me focusing on just the rise and fall of my chest while I'm breathing helps me clear my mind, that may not work for you. Maybe what works for you is like a white noise generator or those YouTube channels like you were talking about. Like I've got a ton of them that are like 432 megahertz or just that I listen to that just kind of like really, I don't know. When I fall asleep to that kind of music though, I have the most vivid dreams ever.
Yeah.
Ever. They're not lucid dreams. I haven't quite gotten there yet. Which we will talk about those on the show as well. But yeah, my dreams are so vivid. They're brightly colored, and all my dreams are always in color. Do you guys dream in color? Throw that in the chat. I love that we're looking at this chat. We're like, hey, tell us.
I know it's like
throw it in the chat. Yeah. Yeah. So I dream in color all the time, but when I fall asleep to that music, it is Lisa Frank shit.
Lisa Frank shit. Well, I think what's happening, there's something in that meditative brain that we're not normally connected to in our day-to-day life, right? Because again, we're in such a rush. Everything's now and hurry up and go to work and now feed the kids, feed the dog, whatever. But there's something about making that connection with meditation where I feel like it starts to connect everything else that was sort of disjointed or disconnected. Does that make sense?
It does.
Dreams or like I feel because you're on this. What's the word I'm looking for? Like if you're trying to learn to meditate, you're trying to find some connection in yourself that's missing. Is what I feel like. How a lot of us end up on this path. Right. As we're older, something's missing. What used to work for us is no longer working. You're looking for other things.
Yeah.
And when you start getting into meditation, you're starting to reconnect things your soul's very familiar with. So I wonder if that then by nature starts to enhance certain things like
that could be because like I read something, it said that your conscious mind is constantly trying to filter through hundreds of thousands of pieces of information every minute.
Yep.
So it's just not going to retain everything.
No.
So it's your subconscious that is the one that is retaining the things that come through to you in either your dream state or in your meditative state, connecting those two things. And I think it said that one one of them was the goal, created goals, and the other one executed them. And so that's kind of, there is that disjointed, what's the word I'm looking for?
What's a disconnect?
Yeah, it's so close. You just need to bridge
like
that
the
gap.
synapses aren't there yet. Like they're so close to touching, but they're not like quite there. Yeah.
Yes.
Completely agree with
you. Yeah. So I think meditation also helps you with that. And like, like I was talking to you earlier today when we were on the phone, that I had been like, I had come across this thing, and over the last few days, I've just more, as the days go by, am more and more called to do this.
Yeah.
And I think that in my sleeping state, my brain is like nudging me down there. And then until I woke up and was like, you know what, this is something that I need to do.
Yep.
And
because
I think
you're making these amazing connections, and your soul's like, oh yeah, we've done this before, or this is familiar, or this
exactly
is what we really love and want. And
which is why I'm super excited to get into the Akashic records. That is fun.
I love
that. Is a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. But
that's that's why meditation's the key to a lot of things, though, because it's like, can you do this other stuff without it? Sure. But you're going to make it a little bit harder for yourself, because like you said, you're really trying to connect in meditation to your own energy.
Yep.
At first, until you kind of know what that navigates and what that kind of looks like. And we'll do a short meditation here in a few minutes. Yeah. And we're going to give everybody an intention just in case they need one.
Yes.
We're going to try music too, but I don't know if that's going to work or not. But in theory.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to hum?
No, I found some. I got some.
Okay. Thank God.
Yeah. And Tom makes a good point here too. Meditation is key for medium for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's clearing that space for other things to come in, so you can, relay messages, get the information clearly, that kind of thing. So it does. I think it's a key to a lot of different things. At least just starting out. Did anybody?
And you'll find it will enrich your life in a number of ways, not just kind of help you learn to focus, not just it can reduce your stress. It can really kind of give you a solid emotional and mental foundation for the day, whatever you have going on that day. There's a number of benefits that meditation can do. So yeah, Erin's gonna you're gonna run the meditation in a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to just do like a short one. Let me try this music out real quick though. I want to see if you guys in the chat will let me know if you can hear this, and then if you can hear me talking over it. So, because I don't want it to mute me out.
I can hear.
Can you hear me? And you can hear the music too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
How about you guys?
Okay. Let's see if
can you guys hear that?
Can you guys hear the music and me talking? I think we're going to be okay there. Amanda will sometimes calm herself. Not quite. Yeah, that's smart. Yep. All right, Jason says
Sandy, that's kind of a form of it.
All right, everybody says they can.
She's just doing it. Yeah. Okay, good. So here's what. This is kind of a quicker show than last time, which is totally fine. And we're not always going to run like almost 2 hours, but we're going to do this little meditation. Erin's going to guide us on it. And then, like she said, if you have any questions, or if you guys are watching this after the live, pop it into the chat, and then Erin and I will just go back through and we'll just check it every day for new folks that are watching it after the fact. And then we're going to do fact or fate.
Yeah,
and then
we're gonna and then we have our funny things that we're doing at the end that we talked about today, which we'll get to.
Yes, we have that we're gonna do at the end of every show. So
all right.
All right, are we all ready to meditate? You can do this if you want to. You don't have to.
I'm probably going to shut my eyes as I walk you guys through this. And again, I'm basically going to do a walk back for you. You'll know what I mean when I get there. If you've done sessions with me, you know what that looks like. And then I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to go quiet, and we're just going to sit for like 2 to 3 minutes. That's it. And then we're going to basically end it and be done with that. But just to get, if you're not a meditator, just to kind of give you an example of how this kind of works for me. And then we'll go from there. Okay. All right. So the music's going. Okay. So what I always like to do is go ahead and start with 3 deep breaths. And the key to that is in through the nose and then out through the mouth. So you take your first one in through the nose, out through the mouth, Next one in. And then out. Third one in. And then out. And you can either continue with the deep breaths if you feel like they're needed. Otherwise, you can just allow your breath to return to its regular rhythm. But like Carrie said earlier, you can focus on the rise and fall of your chest. But we also wanted to offer an intention for everyone if they need one, that we want to focus this meditation and its energy to Andrea and her healing process. So that way everybody has kind of a singular intention. If you need one, feel free to use it. So just give yourself a minute to kind of look at that intention, whether it's the one we gave you or someone else's, your own, whatever. Just give yourself a minute to take that in. Keep breathing. And then I want you to, if you can visualize it, great. If not, just roll with me. I want you to see a beautiful column of golden light. It starts from the cosmos and it works its way down. And it starts to enter your head through the top of your crown chakra here. And as it starts to enter your head, some people may feel pressure, you may feel buzzing, you may feel nothing, and all of it's fine. But that beautiful golden light is going to start working its way through your system, filling up every nook and cranny in your body with this beautiful golden source energy. So from your crown, it's going to go to your third eye here. Its way down to your throat, to your heart. And then that energy starts working its way down both of your arms, all the way down. And then from the heart, it works its way to the solar plexus, down to the sacral chakra, and down to the root chakra, the base of the spine. And then it starts working its way down both legs. Again, just filling your whole body up with that beautiful, luscious golden light. And as it reaches your feet, that golden light comes out of the bottoms of your feet. And along with that light, you've also got tree roots now coming out of your feet. They can be any shape, any size, any color, any number. They're going to act as our grounding force as we connect with Mother Earth's natural calming energy. So the tree roots and that light work their way together down through the floor, into the earth. You can see those limbs, or those roots in that light making its way down to the center of the earth. Your body can start to feel heavy, just kind of sinking into the earth. And the further the roots go, the more grounded you become. And then they finally reach together at the perfect center point of the earth, firmly connecting you to Mother Earth. Let's go ahead and take 3 more deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. First one in. Out. Next one in. Out. Now that you're firmly grounded, you give everybody just a couple of minutes to, you can focus on the intention that you set, you You can focus on exploring the space that you find yourself in this moment. But don't worry about clearing your brain. Just allow yourself to float through this. Whatever comes, comes. So we'll give everybody a couple minutes and then we'll come back out. So I'm going to be silent now. Okay, and now that everybody's had a minute or two to kind of explore that space, let's do 3 more deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. First one in, out. Next one in, out. Third one in, and then out. And now you can see and feel the trees start to disconnect from that center point of the earth, along with the golden light. And they start making their way back up through the earth. And as they come out, the tree roots reach the bottoms of your feet and go back in. And that golden light begins to work its way back up the legs, through your belly, your lungs, your chest, the arms, up through the throat, through the third eye, and then out through your crown, and then it proceeds back up to the cosmos where it started. And before you open your eyes, I want everybody to just kind of move their bodies a little bit, shake your hands. It's just kind of a good way to release energy that I use all the time. And then when you're ready, everybody kind of blink a couple times and bring yourself back into the room when you're ready. And that's it. Oh, let me stop the music.
Mary Beth. Truly, I expected my dogs to start barking their heads off. I was like, they're being so quiet.
Mine's
Lovely.
snoring.
Oh, they meditated a little too hard.
Yeah, he's a little Bernie. But it's funny with animals. I've noticed. I don't know if your dogs do the same, but when I play frequency music, Bernie knows that that's his time to go lay in his oversized bed, and he's just out.
Nope, our dogs are not the same. No, they don't care.
So let me know how you guys feel, if it felt okay. And it may take you a while to kind of process or, kind of tap into whatever you tapped into. You can always hit us up with messages later.
Oh, what was that music? A lot of folks are asking.
Oh, I will get it. It's great. The cat scared the crap out of me. Silly cat. All right, so the music I actually got from YouTube. It's a guy named Kevin MacLeod. He actually does our intro music as well. And it's a song called Healing. Kevin MacLeod. It's MACLEOD. Healing is the song.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of Tibetan sound,
yeah,
chimes.
I heard a lot of flute in there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I find those tend to kind of help me sort of just tap into the woo-woo floaty side of things.
Yeah. It's just a really lovely, just for those few minutes, it's a really lovely headspace to be in. To just kind of, even if you don't want to think about anything, even if you don't want to,
don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can just kind of like be in there, just kind of floating around. And you know what I would love to try is one of those sensory deprivation baths.
Those are great.
Where you just go into like the whole egg-shaped thing and it's completely dark and it's like the water and you're just in there for an hour just floating.
Yep.
I would love to try that. If anybody has ever tried that, let us know, because I definitely would be interested in trying that. I think that would be lovely. And if I could just meditate and not think about, okay, now after this, I've got to go get my haircut. And after this, I got to go, Koi needs to
go do all the things.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Oh, cool. I am. Are we ready for, so is everybody chill? All right. We're going to take I know some people are like, no, I don't want to be put in an egg-shaped thing with water. Yeah. I get it. I don't know.
But you could do sound baths that are just as functional.
Yes.
Ooh. And you're not in an egg. So I can relate to that as a claustrophobic person, but I'd be willing to try it once.
You could just absolutely just do it in your own bathtub with like candlelight and a bath bomb that you got from this little item skincare. Shameless plug.
Yeah, which we're going to do that anyway after Fact or Fake.
We're going to do another shameless plug here in a minute, guys. But
you ready for Fact or Faked?
Do Fact or Faked.
Hang on.
So, okay. So
how about it, sister?
So with this Fact or Faked, it's true that you guys, psychic mediums actually can get and do get the lottery numbers to pick. They do. Mm-hmm. It's true.
It's true.
So what do you think? Drop it in the chat. Is that fact or faked? It's true that psychics can actually get and do get winning lottery numbers.
I am not that kind of psychic.
Neither.
All right.
Or I am, and I'm just hiding it well.
Yeah, here we go. If they do, it's luck.
Yep. Anybody else want to wager? Fact or faked?
From another medium. Mm-hmm. All right,
guys. Yes,
hammer.
It is faked.
Yes.
And a lot of people do that. When people find out somebody's a psychic or a psychic medium, yeah, they're like, well, if you are, then what are the winning lottery numbers? It doesn't work that way. I think those of us who are mediums, psychics, I think we all know that we only get what spirit wants us to have.
Bingo.
That's it. And spirit
listen, we tried at the Conjuring House at every extended tour to get them to give us the lottery numbers. And they would spit numbers at us, but it was because they were so used to the question that they would just be like, oh, fine, 34, 17, 6, 32, or whatever. Like they, but we tried.
love a good smart ass ghost. I'm
exactly.
here for that.
And we have we had plenty of them up there. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely fake. And the reason that it is because we don't ever get any information that spirit doesn't want us to know. It is, think about it. If every psychic had every single set of winning lottery numbers, every lottery,
we'd all be loaded.
We'd all be loaded. And also what is like, that's kind of, no.
It's a fake thing.
That is an absolute fake thing. Mm-hmm. Did you know though, Erin? Did you know that not all psychics are mediums and not all mediums are psychics?
Yes.
Do you know why?
No. Do you?
So I do. And I actually learned this because when Andrea blew my third eye open and I needed to learn how to get a hold of it, I took a class from Cindy Keza. And she had let us know that, really, a gazillion, seriously, it would change the trajectory of a lot of lives. Yeah. And that's just not how that's supposed to go. But yeah, so psychics can take a look at like future events, not lottery numbers, and mediums can see past events and can speak with the dead. So you can be a psychic medium if you can do both, but some psychics can't talk to the dead, and some mediums can't see, like, sense what's going to happen in future things.
Right.
Like, so, I never knew that. I just thought psychic mediums were psychic mediums, and that was that on that. Everybody could do everything.
My mother would say, fun facts to know and tell.
To know and tell, yes.
Speaking of fun facts to know and tell.
Ooh, yes.
We are going to now do your shameless plug. My
shameless plug. It's our shameless plug. This is our shameless plug.
You're leading the charge on this one.
I am leading the charge. So yes, I am in the process of writing an ad for this little light of mine skincare. I did write one. I don't like it. And again, if it doesn't come out perfect like I've got it in my head, it gets thrown in the trash. So I'm still working on it, but this is the ad. Come shop with us, this little light of mine skincare. We offer crystal and Reiki infused skincare. The lovely Erin Bush is the Reiki master that infuses everything with Reiki. Every single line has its own specific intention. We've got, what do we got? Body butters are back, or coming back with our fall line. They're coming back.
Magnesium sprays.
Magnesium oil sprays, which are our top seller.
Yep.
Which I am thrilled to hear everything that it's doing for everybody, but I was really surprised. Our body scrubs are number 2, and then our shimmer body oils are number 3. So we've also got body lotion, bath bombs. Thank you so much, Lori. Yes. Erin, I see a lot of our clients in here.
I know.
Yeah, a lot of our clients are in here. So yeah.
And then you have a code, right?
We do have a code. Everybody who watches our show, just use code WTWW15, WTWW15 to receive 15% off your first purchase with us. Blah, 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 blah. We do have it's a little something for everybody. We truly do. Our fall line is coming out this weekend. It is called Hello Gorgeous. Get it? Get it?
You got a question.
I have a question. The magnesium sprays. So magnesium sprays are very, very popular right now, largely because most of us are deficient in magnesium, and it is a mineral that we all have to have. Our bodies need it to function. Yeah. So magnesium sprays, folks that are deficient in magnesium, they either take an oral supplement or they eat foods that are rich in magnesium, which we still, certainly do that. Fish, things like that, certain vegetables. But it was found that if you take magnesium topically, say in a spray or in a body butter, which our body butters also have magnesium in them, your body absorbs more of it than just an oral supplement. So if you just were to take a supplement of magnesium, your body is absorbing 10% of that, and then 90% is expelled as waste. If you
Got
use
it.
it topically on your largest organ, which is your skin, then it's getting into your system at a higher rate. So a lot of our clients use it. I started making it and using it because I have neuropathy in my feet. So stabbing pain, tingling, pain, fire, pins and needles. The magnesium at night really helps control that. We've got a lot of clients that have restless leg syndrome, and that has helped them with the twitches.
Me.
We have I have a couple of volleyball athletes that are clients, and they use that on their legs after games and stuff. That really helps them. A lot of athletes use magnesium soaks and things like that for their muscles.
It's good for sleep
magnesium
too.
Yep. Recommended it for headache. It's good for a lot of things. Anxiety relief, stress relief. One of my clients uses it for her insomnia, and she's able to fall asleep and sleep 8 hours. So I've been blown away. Try it. The Zen is the most popular magnesium spray that we offer because you just spray it on and then you've got that lavender. So with it, you're getting the benefit of the magnesium. You're getting the Reiki that Erin's putting in it, and you're also getting the aromatherapy benefit. And that's with all our lines.
It's like a trifecta.
So, definitely give them a try. We've got our fall line is coming out this weekend, and then mid-September, our Halloween line is dropping.
I'm excited.
That's an all beautiful witch and spell themed line that Erin and I came up with. It's a lot of fun. Super excited about that one. And so that's a shameless plug. This little light of mine skincare.com. Use code WTWW. Yep, right there. Going that way.
Here, I'll put the code back up too.
That way. Yeah. WTWW15 for 15% off your first purchase. And hopefully by our next episode, I will have a fun, cute ad. That doesn't make me want to just take my computer and throw it out the window because it was just not what I wanted.
Right.
I'm a perfectionist.
Same.
So that was our shameless plug. Do you want to wrap it up and tell everybody how much we love them and set them on their way with their homework for the next 2 weeks?
Oh wait, Sandy wants to know if they're all scented. Do you have?
They are mildly scented, yes, but we also have a line called Bare Your Soul, which is 0 color, 0 fragrance for sensitive skin folks or folks that are sensitive to fragrances and things like that. So Bare Your Soul, fragrance free and color free, but you still get all of the benefits that the other lines have.
And before we sign off with everybody, we also want to just remind people about Cody and Satori's show next Thursday, live with Cody and Satori. That's always fun because they do all these different segments. You get to learn a lot about them. They learn a lot about each other. It's always the disaster.
It is the best. My mother, huge fan of Cody. Loves him.
It's fun like our show is because it kind of can go off the rails with the two of them, which I love. But then like Cody's Cods is becoming
Cods, yes, that's what my mom was like. I love listening to him. She thought he was so funny. And then his interpretation of the Cods.
He's good at it.
So
they're both really good at it.
They're so good at it. It's a very tough act to follow. Every week I'm like, and now we go next and have to follow that.
Right.
But yeah, so definitely Cody and Satori, I believe. Do they do a new case file every week? I can't remember. Yeah.
Yep.
Those are really cool and fascinating. So yeah, absolutely check out their show next week. And
then we also
is there Dead Air this weekend?
I think Dead Air this week is going to be with Bill Bean, and I think Michelle Roos is actually hosting with George because Ken is down here in Florida with us. Okay. So that'll be Sunday night. Yeah. Michelle will be filling in for him on that. And then also
Love
Ken's
Michelle.
Me too. One of my favorite people on the planet. Extremely Strange, which is Ken's baby.
Yep.
A lot of different neat stories that he uncovers and kind of dives into. And so he's always got something fun. I still just find it hilarious that AI Ken turned out exactly like regular Ken. And that's why that stayed there.
That's perfect. Jonathan is asking, is Andrea have her show tomorrow night? I think so.
She does. I think she's live. I'm not sure if Lynn's still in chat. If she is, she could probably tell you. If not, she'll tell you tomorrow in Buttercup if she's going live or not. But she is doing great. She's not having any side effects from chemo, whatsoever. So just keep the energy going her way.
Yeah.
And We love all of you. We're really grateful that you listened to us prattle on for an hour and 20
Yeah,
minutes.
thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We are having the best time. Before we release you guys, we're going to end every single episode with a really fun, inspirational quote or what have you. And then we're going to give everybody an affirmation to take with them for the next 2 weeks. And Erin, so if you want to go and start with your inspirational meaning.
So we found this just funny because, you know, this is accurate for our topic. What people feel like meditation should be on the one side. Yeah. And then on the other side, what it actually feels like. Has it been 10 minutes already? What is for dinner tonight? Why is the clock ticking so loud? Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And then you've got the affirmation.
So heavily.
Why is he chewing so loud?
Right? God, shut up, Chewy. Okay. So my cousin sent me these. It is my little bag of sweary affirmations. Mm-hmm. So we're going to randomly choose a card. Maybe we're stealing this from Cody and Satori. But really we're not. It's just a card.
That's okay.
So I'm just kind of like shuffling it, and this is going to be random draw. I'll cut the deck. It's a tiny deck. I'll cut the deck, and then the card on the top is going to be our affirmation. Every single one of us is going to carry for the next 2 weeks. Okay.
Love it.
And this is what it is. My future is a golden, sparkly explosion of fucking awesomeness.
Yes.
That's our affirmation. Is the light too bright?
It's kind of.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
Okay.
Nice.
My future is a golden, sparkly explosion of fucking awesomeness. That's our affirmation, and we are going to make it so. So when we get back, I would actually, and Erin would actually love to hear how your future 2 weeks went, knowing that it was a golden explosion of fucking awesomeness. Tell us something amazing that you did, or that you saw, or that you were a part of, anything like that. Let us know how your meditation is going. Yep. You know, so we always want to start talking to you guys and just kind of see, you know, how have your 2 weeks been, and how have you been doing with, you know, the little homeworks. Remember to try to really pay attention to your own energy and focusing on your reactions and your thoughts. Are they coming from ego? Are they coming from soul? Try to meditate at least 5 minutes every few days,
whatever's
or
good
less
for
if you need to.
Mm-hmm. And it always message us with questions. Always. Yeah. Always.
Erin and I were talking about setting up a Facebook page, and we might we'd probably be talking about doing that. We'll see how everything goes. If we're getting a lot of messages, that should be a good central place for everybody to be able to come and give us episode topics, give us, you know, to ask us questions, things like that. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. We had a great time. And
we'll see you in 2 weeks.
That's all I have. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Love y'all.
Bye. That was
we gotta end the stream.